Lesson 55. Living under God's amazing grace. We all have this question in our heads that if God is above all, why does He allow the world to suffer? Why does He not do something about it and end all the misery in the human race? God did not create the world so that we could suffer, neither He enjoys when we suffer. But when the world falls under one man, He purposed in His heart to bring about the salvation of human race. When the first man was created, God put rules that a man should obey and follow. And He said, you can eat all the fruits given in the garden, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for the day that you eat, you shall surely die. When man was created, he was supposed to live forever in the Garden of Eden. But when he disobeyed God is when his eyes was open. He started to see the good and evil of the world on which God hidden from him. All the suffering and the toils of the earth was revealed. The scorching of the sun, the pain of the diseases was felt, something which was never meant to be. The body started decaying and eventually becoming old and dying. As you look further, the people in the beginning lived an average life of about 900 years, but as the people continued to disobey God, that age was brought down significantly into 80 years. And this is why more and more God distanced away from the people as the scene grew into the world. It wasn't as the beginning where the prophets used to talk directly with God. Now it is more difficult to find God as it was in the beginning. And when people keep ignoring God, life becomes uncertain. People start to do things their own way, which ends up into more depression and more suffering. We become like a sheep with no shepherd and no direction in life, which makes us miserable. But God plainly says in Jeremiah 29, verse 13, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Now here is where the real test comes. How much are you willing to sacrifice to find God? Are you ready to commit to Him and leave beside the worldly things? He says, but small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Not everyone will have the grace to find the path, even though it is for everyone. But those who choose to devote themselves to God will enter their lives into a new dimension of life, where nothing else that happens will bother or move you, because you know God has gotten it handled. Because of this knowledge of knowing good and evil, we try to control everything. We want things to happen in our terms, and we become arrogant, thinking that we know all things. But the pride that we constantly creating blocks God's ability to handle your situation in times of need. Even though all these suffering was sent to the world through one man, God still loved us so much that He sent His Son Jesus to change that and restore our rightful place with everlasting life. Even if we still know the good and evil, but through what Jesus did, none of it will hold you guilt if you truly submit to Him. You can now live a free man and a happy life, because it is no longer you who live, but Christ who lives in you. You will find no reason to sin anymore, because you understand the wonderful things that God provides for you when you fully commit to Him. He will give you a new meaning of life and a new direction on your purpose. Even though the world will not understand, it does not matter anymore, because now it is just between you and your God, because you have come to an understanding that God is faithful in what He says, and He will never fail you no matter what. Not everyone finds God's grace, but those who do finds life.